Have you ever looked at a really slick app and wondered how they get everything so consistent, so perfect across every single device? Well, I'm here to tell you it's not magic. It's a system. And today we're going to break down exactly how you can build one of these professional UI design systems for yourself right inside Figma. So here's our game plan. We're going to start with a big idea, the core philosophy behind it all. Then we'll get our hands dirty and actually build the basic pieces. From there, we'll see how to assemble those pieces into smart, reusable components, unlock the magic of auto layout, and finally bring it all together to design a fully responsive UI. Let's do it. Okay, before we even open Figma, we have to get our heads in the right space. We need a guiding principle, a philosophy that's going to hold this entire system together. And that idea is called atomic design. So what exactly is atomic design? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like chemistry, but for interfaces. It's this really cool methodology where you break your UI down into the absolute smallest, most basic parts, we call those atoms, and then you combine them piece by piece to build bigger and more complex things. And this is how that hierarchy looks. You start with your tiny little atoms, things like your brand colors, your icons, your text styles. Then you combine those to make functional molecules, like a search field or a button. And then you group those molecules together to create whole sections of your interface or organisms, like a complete navigation bar or a social media post. See? It's a system. All right, enough theory. Let's get practical. We're going to start building out the foundational atoms for a simple Twitter-like app. These are the absolute, indivisible building blocks for our entire user interface. We're going to kick things off with 3 crucial atoms. First, a really well-defined color palette, because that's key for consistency. Second, a unified icon system, so all our little symbols look like they belong together. And third, a clear typographic scale, which is going to create that all-important visual hierarchy. First up, colors. And look, this is way more than just picking a primary brand color. It's about defining your secondary colors and, maybe most importantly, your neutral shades. These are the workhorses that'll be used for things like body text and backgrounds. Getting this right creates a super clean and consistent foundation. Next, let's talk icons. You know, the little things like the home icon, the search magnifying glass, or that verified checkmark. By defining these as atoms from the get-go, we're making sure that every single icon looks and feels exactly the same, no matter where it shows up in our app. Okay, so we've got our atoms. Now the real fun begins. It's time to start combining them to create our very first functional molecules. These are our smart, reusable components. A simple button is the perfect example here. A button isn't just a rectangle with some text, right? It's a sophisticated little molecule. It combines a color atom for its background, a text style atom for its label, and a set of spacing rules, all bundled into one neat, reusable package. And this is where things get really cool. We can give our little buttons superpowers. In Figma, we can use variants to control different properties. So with a single master component, we can toggle its state from default to disabled, or switch on and off whether it has an icon. For a team, this is a massive efficiency boost. It cuts down on errors and saves so much time. All right, let's talk about a feature in Figma that is an absolute game changer. It's what makes our components truly intelligent and flexible. Let's talk about the magic of auto layout. This quote right here, this is the classic designer's nightmare, right? You spend all this time making a beautiful component, a perfect little button, but the second someone puts real content in it, like a longer label, the whole thing just breaks. It's so frustrating. And here you can see exactly what I mean. On the left, you've got the old static way. You add longer text and it just spills out and breaks. But on the right, with auto layout, it magically adapts. The container expands automatically, the padding stays perfect, it just works. So the crucial point to take away here is that auto layout lets us build components that can handle real-world dynamic content, not just the perfect text from our mockups. This is what makes a design system truly robust and, most importantly, scalable. Okay, let's put this entire system to the test with our final challenge, creating designs that are truly responsive, designs that adapt perfectly no matter what screen size you throw at them. So on a big desktop screen, you've got all the space in the world, right? Our navigation bar can be fully expanded, showing both the icons and the text labels next to them. Everything is visible, maximum clarity. But then you shrink it down to a tablet and watch what happens. The system we built intelligently adapts.
The navigation bar collapses down to save that horizontal space, leaving a clean, simple, icon-only menu.
And finally, on mobile, the interface gets even more focused. The UI becomes super minimal, making sure that the core functions are easy to tap and access without any clutter. And all of this happens automatically, all because we built a smart system from the ground up.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's really about a shift in your mindset. You have to start with a philosophy, something like atomic design. Build from the smallest atoms first. Use amazing tools like auto layout to make your components flexible. And remember, when you have a strong system in place, responsive design becomes almost effortless. You're not just designing screens anymore. You are building a living, breathing system. Look, this whole process empowers you to create designs that are way more consistent, efficient, and scalable. So, we'll leave you with a final thought to chew on. Now that you understand the power of building a system like this, what's going to be the very first atom you build for your next project?